Welcome to Beauties and Beasties, the independent pest podcast for the UK.
Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing?
Hello. Oh,
I'm good, boys. How are you?
I don't want to jinx it, but it appears that it's on.
Yeah. I was watching the credits in dual screen there. I was watching it here and I was watching it on Facebook over here. So I think we're all good.
It's like the Starship Enterprise there, is it?
Oh, I thought you were going to be really nerdy and be like boldly going where no man has gone before, but you just want to make spaceshipy noises instead. Yes. Live long and prosper and all that. How are you lads doing?
We're okay. We're okay down here in sunny Somerset that's been pissing down with rain all the time, but
It's the first time I've used the word lads contextually in conversation. Maybe ever. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh well.
Funny thing that Sean might be able to answer about this, actually, or any of our Scottish friends. We looked at a van today, and one of the mechanics that we know said, "Don't buy a van from Scotland. Don't ever buy vehicles that come down from Scotland because all the wheels on it were rusted to shit." And he's like, "Don't buy a van that comes from Scotland." He said, all the salt and the grit in the winter absolutely destroys vehicles. And we're like, okay. Never really thought about it like that.
I tell you what is interesting, which I know for a fact. You know, when you get these Japanese imports,
yeah,
they don't have the problems, so they don't come with any sort of under seal, for want of a better word. So if you buy one at $5,000, $6,000, you should work on spending another $1,000, $2,000 on getting the underside of it sealed because they don't come with it as standard.
All right. I would have thought Japan.
They don't use salt on the roads.
All right, but I mean, it's an island, and most of it is on the coast anyway. You'd imagine, like Brighton and the rest of it, the sea air.
Yeah, no, they don't use under seal, and a lot of I don't know if you can remember them or not. Remember their Mitsubishi Pajeros, and they had the tiny little wing mirror on the front of the car.
On the right, just one.
Yeah, just one. So they had normal wing mirrors, and they have a tiny little like mini me wing mirror at the front. They were part of the biggest fraud in the world. So they don't have a second-hand car market over there. They just don't have one. So everything that was stolen and exported over to Europe, and that's why. So 99.9% of them cars that you saw with a tiny little wing mirror on had actually been nicked over there and brought over here.
Don't they have some weird thing that you can only have a vehicle no less than 5 years old or something like that, and they have to ship it?
I can't remember why, but I know there's no second-hand vehicle market over there at all. Like it's a new one off, and that's what you get. So yeah.
Also,
because they keep.
Oh, sorry.
Go on, Alex. I was going to say they keep shipping over these. I keep seeing Jimneys being shipped over, Suzuki Jimneys.
Well, that's because you can't get them here anymore, isn't it? And they're a cult car over. The Jimny lovers are like the old school mini metro lovers, aren't they? They fucking love them. They love them. They're supposed to be one of the best actual 4x4s for going off roads as well, aren't they? Like, they literally go. They've done a test, didn't they, where they've done like Defenders and They've done a Jimny and is it the Vitara, the Suzuki Vitara? And the two little ones, the two little ones just went everywhere and done everything when all the big expensive ones couldn't, and a cult was born, for want of better words.
I think you can get a Jimny commercial as well, can't you? That you can class as a van. Yeah, I think so.
I was about to say, I know that they do their vehicle tax on the cubic like footprint of the car, which is why the you got the Nissan Cube, which was literally the most economical use of that like that sort of like volumetric space, and it was like half a centimeter shy of going into the next vehicle registration bracket, which is why it's such a horrible shaped vehicle. There we go.
And it
Right.
was it's odd because we looked at these. We're looking at a few vans, and actually, when you look at it, although there's Citroen, Renault, Peugeot, Vauxhall, they're all the same bloody engine. They're no different in any of them. People say, "Oh, I wouldn't have a Peugeot, I wouldn't have a Citroen, or I wouldn't have this." It's like, well, it's exactly the same as a Vauxhall.
I go back time and again to my Skoda Fabia, which was the best car I've ever driven. Absolutely loved it. Ran on, good vibes and a good tailwind. Single tank, single 40-litre tank would take me all the way to Scotland and a little bit around it. But that, I had a mechanic who worked on the same industrial estate with me, and he was just like, yeah, the bit that I'm putting into here, all of the bits are the same bits you get from a Volkswagen Polo. And the only difference between the bit I'm putting into this Polo and the bit I'm putting into your Fabia, the only difference is this one has VW Polo written on it, and it's worth, they charge you 2.5 times as much. You're getting exactly the same stuff, but it's unbranded. And so it is cheap as chips. I was like, okay.
I think I said before, and I don't want to repeat my stories, but I had a Skoda van, and it was absolutely awesome. I had a Skoda pickup with a Truckman top on the back, and it was the same as the VW Rabbit, and it was absolutely fantastic until I drove it into an open manhole.
That sounds very Looney Tunes. Like, did it
I
disappear
didn't.
down?
Well, I didn't know it was an open manhole. I was driving to customers, and suddenly felt this boom, and I thought somebody fricking fired a bazooka at me, and I didn't think anything else of it till later, until I'd seen the whole of the side of the van had crunched in as the shock absorber had gone up. It had punched a hole up through and shattered the side of the. Yeah. So that was the end of that van. It went into the second-hand market, should we say, after a long repair.
Oh God. Okay. Off to the scrappies.
Anyway, after that,
right. Shall we start the show proper then? Shall we start?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's start with a little bit of association news. Is it me or you to go first this week, Hugh?
I don't mind.
I'll go first.
You're gonna go.
There. So Scott has very nicely sent me a list of things that BPCA has been up to over the last couple of weeks, last month. So one of them is the sorry, I'm paying attention. I'm just reading from my other screen over here. So the BRCGS Connect, promoting BPCA members to food specifiers. So the BPCA represented its members at the BCRS Connect Europe 2026, which was one of the leading food safety conferences in Europe. They managed to speak directly to the major manufacturers, retailers, and logistics operators about what good pest management looks like in an audited food environment. There was some great conversation had, and a lot of interest in pest management standards, and how to look for what good is. So excellent stuff there, flying the flag for our industry with our food manufacturing colleagues. The new level 4 qualification. So a reminder that the consultation is still open, working on new competency-based qualification framework with, the level 3s moving forwards. Now we're starting to define what a level 4 looks like. The survey is still open. And so for that, this is your chance to say what an advanced competence means in real terms. And that's open to everyone, BPCA members, MPTA members, no members at all. Everyone has their say in that. A little bit on member webinars and roundtables, a little bit of practical business support. So BPCA delivered 2 online sessions this month, which are now available for everyone to watch back. one focused on social media and digital skills, helping businesses use simple tools to create professional, compliant content that builds trust, and the other explored upselling and additional services, looking at how to increase revenue per client in an ethical and structured way. These are now available to watch back on the BPCA website. So there. Our next free member-only webinar is on March the 4th and revisits cockroach biology and treatment fundamentals for that. BPCA Pest Careers campaign video. So have you guys seen that? Have you watched the little video that's been put onto YouTube and social media reels?
We can have our party now.
Can have our party now, yeah. Our party can go ahead, I think you'll find, is the exact line I deliver in my very fetching shirt. But with that, it's actually been picked up by the DWB and on the government's Youth Guarantee Scheme, helping members explore structured ways to get to new entrants. And just a reminder that any BPCA member can actually, that we have an onboarding program, like a comprehensive onboarding program. So if you are taking someone on and you don't quite know what to do in order to sort of like get them fully established, fully fledged and everything they need to know, have a look for BPCA onboarding. There's a whole package there as well. And 3 last things. TAF Awards, BPCA magazine, well done to them. They won the not the Pest magazine. BPCA won the Magazine of the Year awards at the Trade Association Forums last night for their Professional Pest Controller magazine, and also got a highly commended for the work on diversity inclusion, which included the aforementioned pest careers and video. So the PPC magazine is planned, edited and designed in-house by the staff team of the BPCA, but it is looked after by my committee, which is the BPCA Outreach and Comms Committee. And I'll use this as an opportunity to say that if anyone wants to get involved with the Outreach and Comms Committee, we are looking for people to sit on that committee at the moment just to help flesh it out. So if you want to be a part of a committee that does things, then drop me an email or drop the BPCA email and come and sit on the Outreach and Comms Committee. What else? So also you might have noticed that if you are a BPCA member, there is an what's called the BPCA Insider. So it's a WhatsApp group now where you're not, it's a members-only WhatsApp group where the digital noteboard, you get updates straight to your phone on all of the key industry watch-outs and updates. And then for that, we have a whole host as well of non-member events coming up in March. We have our meets and board members and Rosina, our chief executive, PestX, and a couple other bits and bobs. But that's mostly it from BPCA News. Lots of member benefits coming out. So if you want to know any more, drop us a message. And I'll hand over to Hugh for MPTA News.
So, Sean, are you eating Haribo?
Haribo.
Have you just finished a packet of Haribo? Ah. Just sat there.
Hang on, I'm just going to make a load of noise, pull a load out, so I don't have to make a noise in the future whilst I eat them.
Oh dear. So MPTA news. So I haven't got too much because there's been some secret squirrel stuff going on. So anything to they're all at it. So we're continuing to focus on ideas and add value to the members, and so that we can support them better, but they're a bit on the QT. TAF Awards, it was great to see on the whole that the pest industry was actually even there. That's a big bonus, whether we won or whether we didn't win. It was great to be nominated, and it's good to see that actually people hopefully are recognizing that it is an industry and a professional industry at that. So, and well done to everybody at BPCA for the magazine, because it's a good magazine. Good artwork. It was really cool. Other than that, so we've got our first Trustmark people submitting their various documents, and that's starting. It's not mandatory. Everybody doesn't have to apply. It will be for some people that want to do it. and some members won't want to do it. You know, just tailored around who your customers are. So you've got the choice whether you want to do it or no. So that's been going on. The first draft of that is coming out. We've been having the MPTA on the road days, which are proving ever popular. And there's quite a few more going on this year. So I'm not quite sure. I can't remember the total because the only one I care about is Buckfast Lee because it's in the southwest. No, not true. But no. So they're on. So watch out for those. And everybody's welcome to go and please support them. And on the whole, I think that's it for us, actually. Like I say, plenty of other things going on, but there's a few things I can't mention yet. So hopefully next time we'll be able to announce some more.
Exciting stuff.
That's my bit.
I might be coming to some of the MPTA on the road days as well, but with my other hats on, which would be good fun.
That'd be good, yeah.
I have to say, the MPTA days always had the best, for any sort of like regionals, they've always had the best food. Don't know if you noticed that. They have, like, genuinely, like, nothing against the BPCA like regionals or anything like that, but there's only so many sort of like sausage baps or you know, bacon rolls you can have in the morning. But for the MPTA ones, there's always good scran at lunchtime. It's always a proper meal.
The Buckfast Lee one I went to last time, it was amazing. It was, you know, the buffet was out there, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, maybe I will make a pig of myself. So yeah, no, that was quite a good one actually. Yeah,
it is a day out, so you should treat yourself. There we go. Cool. Any other industry updates, but not association that we want to cover off?
Not for the associations, I don't think. What have we got next? Registration news.
Product news. So things coming in, things going out, things staying the same. Have you got anything on this one, Hugh? I've got one bit.
Well, I picked up that
I'll be back in a second.
Oh. He's off,
like
guys.
He hadn't just crapped himself. No,
that was very much the crap waddle, wasn't it?
It was a bit of a strange walk there. So I just picked up one thing that about Advian and Advian gels that Richard Mosley's been warning about, that there's quite a bit of fake stuff going on, counterfeit stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be cynical and say, you know, of course they're going to say don't buy from Amazon and don't buy off eBay, you know, but ultimately we know that there's fake flea products out there and fake products. So, you know, they are putting a warning out that when you're buying Advian ant gel and cockroach gel, perhaps it might be best to buy it from a reputable dealer.
We have this flagged to us at oh god, I made a terrible mistake eating this Jolly Rancher. We had this flagged to us, but yeah.
Like a couple of pissing hamsters.
Oh, sorry, go
on. On that point, I was on a load of training this week, and one of the places that we would do, or the place that we were doing it, was a research and testing place. And one of the things that they test is ladders. Very, very interesting. What they were telling us was that if you buy your ladders from Screwfix, B&Q, somewhere like that, and it's got the label on it, it will have been tested and they will have been found to be what they say they are. Amazon, although is now a trusted name in the home place, they are finding a huge amount of forgery ladders on the available for sale, to the point where last year there was a bloke climbing up his words were especially the extendable ladders, which is what pest controllers tend to use a lot of, and it literally folded in half. He's really hurt himself, and he said, I'm telling you now, what you need to do is not buy your ladders off Amazon, no matter what you think you buy, and don't do it.
And that's even more pertinent because March, and I had someone drop me a message I think last week, and I've completely forgotten to bring it up with you guys. But March is ladder safety. March is National Ladder Safety Month, recognised as that. So maybe we will do a bit of a look-see next month as to ladder safety and how to ensure that your ladders are safe, basically, because a lot of us, especially coming into summer, are going to be heavily reliant on our ladders for wasps and for proofing and all the rest of it.
I had one of the telescopic pairs of steps fold down on me, and they went in the bin. And I said from then, luckily I wasn't up high or anything. And I do know somebody else that shattered their ankle as one folded up, and his foot fell through, and it just. So, pardon?
I've had exactly the opposite problem. I've over the last 2 years, I bought two expensive. One was the 3 meter, I think the other was a 5 meter, like telescopic ladders. There's something, and you know they're not cheap. So when you buy them from Screwfix, when you buy the proper ones, the big ones are not cheap. And yeah, I've had them both nicked. I'm so pissed, like so diabolically angry that people have nicked my ladders, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. One of them was just down at the farm, and I'm pretty certain one of the farm hands just was like, "All right, looks like a good ladder. That's mine." And I kind of like kicked up a stink about it, expecting it to magically reappear one day. Never did. So obviously somebody's got a nice ladder in their house somewhere. And the other one, I genuinely don't know where it went. Like, it just vanished.
Be interesting for everybody watching who uses a telescopic ladder and who will just absolutely not use one.
We use them all the time, but I'm like Tom. Mine are either a tool station or a B&Q buy. Really, really like them. I think they're almost invaluable as a pest controller, like just invaluable. And we've got a set of Werner ones who are really big on the Werner, or the massive ones. And I've stopped the lads from using them. They're dangerous. They're a 3-piece ladder, and as you pull as you pull it down, it hits it, knocks it, and the top bit shoots down. It split my head open at one point. So they're a no longer in use set of ladders from Werner. So don't always accept that they're going to be good, but yeah.
Yeah, extend and climb. Yeah, that's the ones that we use.
I'd say the one I bought, first time I'd ever used a telescopic, didn't realize that, because intuitively you want to sort of like ream it out from the bottom, don't you? Like put it to the height you need it. But you have to do it the other way around. You have to do it from the top first and like click it out. So the first time I ever used one, I didn't realize I hadn't fully locked it off. And that first step I took, oh my God, that was my heart all the way through the bottom of my trousers. As that first rung was concertina down. I was like,
it's when you're going up them and they sort of flex a bit, isn't it? Gong, gong, gong.
Are you calling me fat? If the wobbly ladder fits, mate, then I am.
Yeah. You've got something there, Sean. What have you got?
Yeah,
there?
I've got a product. It's an old product that most people will have never seen. So, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a mouse box, but it is a metal mouse box with a tray that comes out of it. Proper plunk and click. Absolutely, they are the bomb diddly arm. If you are dealing with anything where you think something might get into your bait or not, I can't recommend them enough. We've used them on quite a few jobs now and absolutely love them because you can take the plastic out. It's probably the only mouse box where you can actually get them running metal. And we've been having absolutely fantastic success with them. And I spoke about the Talon Stroke Alpha job that we've done. So I've told a couple of people about it, and they've tried it, and they've had exactly the same results that we've had with it. Like to a mouse box rat pack. That's exactly what makes them rat pack. If anyone is gonna mini ultra bait box, that's the one. If anyone is going to get them, he only produces them once a year, I think, and they come in March, and then when they're gone, they're gone. You don't get any more. They're not a huge product order, but Yeah, we've told a couple of people about it now, and they've all had similar results with really difficult excessive mouse infestations, and it's just dead simple, really. It's wallop these down, fill them full of Talon Track, the non-toxic. Bait them every week for 2 to 4 weeks until they're eating it, and then switch it for the Ridmus Alpha, that alpha chlorelose. And before you leave, you're picking them up off the floor. It's been an.
You could cut a piece of cardboard to go in it, couldn't you?
What? Sorry.
I was just thinking, about the we've talked in the past about behavioral resistance.
Yeah.
And how they don't like plastic.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody's come up with a box that you can cut a piece of cardboard and fit in it.
Yeah, potentially. I think I think when we've used these, and why I wouldn't use cardboard is because when we've used them, and I don't know what you think of this, but we've found that when a house mouse infestation gets out of hand, it gets out of hand rapidly. You just don't see the field mice infestations like you do house mice that just explode, don't they? And they seem to go from 1 to 2 to like 3,000 in like 3 weeks. They're brilliant, aren't they? So whenever we've used them, it's somewhere where they're going to want to be in all the time. And it's not a one-hit wonder for us where we're constantly and habitually changing between non-toxic and toxic on it to get the result. And it doesn't appear at this moment in time that the effectiveness of doing that is reduced over the amount of times that you do it. They just keep taking it. We've really, really walloped a load of them with it. But I think the alpha is probably the least important part of it. I think the Talon Track is probably the number one important thing, followed by the box, followed by the switcheroo. And I say to people all the time, it's about creating a habit in the mouse, isn't it? You're not trying to feed it. You're trying to create. The analogy I would use from what we've done with it is, it's not like you're giving it a Sunday dinner and it's sitting down, it's having a full Sunday. It's like having a cupboard in the kitchen full of sweets when you walk past and you're like, I'll have a biscuit. Go on, I'll have another biscuit. I'll have another biscuit. And you get to a point where you can't walk through the kitchen without eating a biscuit, don't you? That's what you're trying to do. And then you switch it for the alpha and they take a biscuit, and then the next thing they're dead with their feet up in the air and smashed to bits,
Ryan calls that box with all the sweets in and the chocky biscuits the slut box.
The slut box.
Do you want something out of the slut box?
Why? I could think
I
of
don't know.
much better things to refer to as a slut.
Well,
box.
because it's dirty food, isn't it? It's it's manky.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing it, should you?
Tunnocks wafers and fucking Tunnocks tea cakes and all that shit.
Or like a proper tea cake right now. That sounds excellent.
But if anyone wants them, I think they come in March and they'll be in and out. So I think we buy about 200-300 at any one time when he gets them in. And the other best thing about them in the world, your stickers fit. Your stickers for your wrap boxes, they go on them like absolutely. Oh fucking hell, Davey! Yeah, don't be doing that.
Don't be doing that. Don't look up dirt box.
It's a word of warning from one of our long-time listeners.
Highly recommended.
Yeah. Don't Google the words slut box. There we go. But yes, it's nice to have some good boxes at the end of the day. They are worth their weight in gold. And considering that those ones are made of metal, that goes double, I have to say. Yeah, and the little tray inserts help.
Tell you the other thing, I was talking to Dave Helgenson about them when I bought them, and he said, interestingly, they are stronger per size than the metal rat box. They've tried it. You can run them over in a vehicle and they won't break because they're smaller and more compact. So we used them in a parrot sanctuary where they'd literally chew through a parrot sanctuary.
In a what?
Idiot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to watch Sean have an apoplectic fit.
Here's a question for you. The stickers on the boxes are there to
Mm.
keep everything safe and sound, aren't they? Allegedly.
Yeah.
If you're putting stickers on boxes in a parrot sanctuary and the parrots are peeling them off, shredding them, eating them, and you don't know if they're going to create a mischief with them, which they possibly could, are you better to not have the stickers on and try to deal with it in your paperwork in a different way? Because I'll be honest with you, that's exactly what we've done. Because I was standing there thinking, I'm going to get in trouble here.
You know what I would do?
What?
I would ask the manufacturer, because most of them do it, to print on the front of the box your warning labels. So get them to print it, inkjet print it, and read directly onto the top of the box. If those boxes are bought in specifically for that specific job, get them to print all of that information on the top of the box. Can't feel that.
I tell you what the problem with that is. You're constantly switching between non-toxic and toxic. So how do you need the sticker to be able to move, if that makes sense? And that's, I love
Honestly.
the idea.
And then you have
Do we-
two labels next to each other and a tick box with a Sharpie.
Honestly, I'd love to know if just
Never.
even once sticking those stickers on has ever done any good whatsoever.
No good.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds pest controllers must have spent over the last, what is it, 8 years, stickers? Is it 8 years we've had them?
Since 2016.
Yeah. I wonder if they've ever done, and I think I've said this before, so I'll shut up.
It's an interesting point, though. It is a risk mitigation measure, but the people who are most at risk, children and animals, are unable
read.
to read. So the reality of it is it's an in case of emergency, if something happens to that box, it gets run over in the car park, it spills crap everywhere. Dog walks past, snuffles it up. You can't find the manager of the shop. The shop manager is there, but can't find the paperwork. Nobody knows what's in. What was in this box? Was it non-toxic? Was it toxic? What's going on? If it was toxic, what do I need to do? Was it Coley? Was it an escar? Was it something else? What do I do?
Do we have any figures on accidental poisoning per year?
Yeah.
Okay.
It all has to be reported every year. All the manufacturers, if the manufacturers hear of, okay, sorry, just 1 second. I've got a gentleman here, Saddam Hussein. I want your response. No, Saddam, I cannot give you a job in the UK. So please enjoy the podcast. Stop asking. So that was very strange. But yes, these it's a precautionary measure. Whether it works or not, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, would be my opinion. And I know it's a faff and I know it's difficult, but on the one or two occasions it does work, then it's probably going to have paid for itself. There we go. So yes. Right. What was I about to say with that?
No,
Lost it.
gone.
Sean.
Gone.
Yeah. Someone sent us a message about work, about a job that we're doing. I'm like, oh God.
Not this time of night. Go away.
Exactly. It is what it is, isn't it?
So have we done products?
No,
Piece?
We got.
Oh, no.
There's some old
course
products
we
out
haven't.
there that I'd like to.
Should I do this product? Because I know all about it.
Shakira.
So, as soon as you hear this. So, Sean, if you do that one just very quickly, I want to just cover 3 here that we've covered before, but they're worth mentioning again. So, the Bug Sense Sentry Pro from Artec for monitoring, Defender Jaws, which are the Defender bird spikes, and then Opticatcher's retrofit LED insect light tubes. So they're 3 things that have come out relatively recently over the last couple of months, but they do warrant just a bit of a revisit and just bringing them back.
The Bug Sense bed bug traps.
Yeah.
They're gone. They can't get them to work.
No.
Have they gone now?
They're gone. Yeah, they couldn't get them to work.
Okay, I could have sworn I saw them promoting those only a matter of weeks ago.
I might be wrong, but the person I spoke to is quite good on it and rang us up and said, just to let you know, the
Maybe.
first batch that we had was brilliant and really worked. And then when they tried to do some testing on them, they couldn't get them to work in any way, shape, or form. So that was the game. That was the end of that game. And from what I've been told, they were a Ferrari to look at a mini Metro with 100,000 mile on the clock under the bonnet, weren't there? Hugh used a lot. We used them and we couldn't catch a bed bug on one. So what did you think, Hugh?
Exactly the same. We used probably best side of, I don't know, 300-400, and I think we caught 2 bed bugs.
Yeah.
You know,
Mad. Okay.
so
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Their websites are still up. Their products are still available on it. Crazy.
Okay.
I'll check for next week and give you an update because I'm pretty confident that I got told that they were a no-go and I can't get them to work. Well, I was told that for definite, but whether that's, I don't know. We'll see.
Fair enough. Well, that product updates, withdrawals by popular opinion.
And withdrawn now.
Okay, so I'll pass over to you because you had a fun open day, didn't you?
Do you know, I was just about to say, I'll tell you how this product works and everything about it, then I'll actually tell you about it and how it works. Because with me, there is a little bit of Chinese whispers, like they've told me, I've listened, I've thought I've understood, and then I'm going to tell you about it. So it was called Seclera, I think.
Seclera.
Seclera. It is a product, a fly bait. It's available in America under the banner Alpine, I believe it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, Alpine. See, I knew that.
WSG.
I'm not looking at Alpha
Awesome.
reinforcement on this. And basically, it's an aerosol spray. It's going to be available in professional and amateur use, same product. It is a spray that will not give you instant results, but will give you results that drop down, because basically it's not a massive attraction. I think what has to happen is the flies have to land on it and either ingest it as they try to eat it, or get it on the feet and ingest it in the body through whatever. One of the downsides to it, if this is a downside, I don't think it is that you may find a big pile of dead flies underneath where you've sprayed it. Like, fucking hell, like what more can you ask for? I think that's pretty damn good. Your customers get to see how active the stuff you've sprayed is. One can will do about 400 linear meters, sprayed 30 centimeters off. It's an active ingredient we don't have at the minute. It is not a permethrin product. It's a day. Just shout that one out for us, Al.
Dinotefuron.
That one. It's that one. Yeah. Can be used in all sorts of great places. So, you know, I think it's indoors. Basically an indoors thing that you can use it on. Spray
It's
it.
just aerosol, is it? Did you say?
Yeah, just an aerosol. 30 centimeters or 20 or 30 centimeters off, Al?
Yes.
About that. Ish. Yeah, ish. Just put a strip on. Put a strip on. Lasts up to 6 weeks. Yeah, looks like it's going to have a real good armory. There is talk on the grapevine about possibly cluster flies being added to the label in the near future, which would be quite nice, I think, but they're not on yet. There was no price, although I heard someone in the thing suggest that it might have been £40 for a tin, but that wasn't confirmed by Lawrence because he can't tell us that yet. It's not fully authorized. They are literally waiting on tenterhooks to get it, and then it's coming out to you for the
Who
summer.
was it that did the dying fly dance? Was it Tiswas? It wasn't Tiswas, was it? You remember the dying flies? No.
I think you
Okay,
are
before my time.
showing one's age. So yeah,
Age,
to give a couple more details on it, when you spray, because it's registered and launched in Europe at the moment, so it does exist. It is there. We're just waiting on UK registrations. When you spray it, it is a sprayable bait, so it's not like an aerosol. Piff paff off through the air, knocking it out of the air. You spray it onto a surface, and it hits the surface, and it like lands as a bit of a gel, and then beads together like surface tension location, and it makes just like it looks like if you look at a a basketball, for example, like the surface of a basketball with all the dimples on it, it kind of looks like that as it all beads up together. And then, yeah, the flies land on it. It's got an attractant in there. The flies land on it. They lap it up on their proboscis and then die soon afterwards. And yeah, it's pretty good.
Don't spray it on porous surfaces. If you're going to do that, put a non-porous strip up. And some of the things that they were suggesting using it for, which I actually thought was pretty cool, was they were putting a hole in a plate, spraying on the plate, and then hoisting the plate into the above livery yards and things like that. So flies are picking them up like out of the reach of the horses, and then just dropping it down every 6 weeks and spraying on it. And I don't.
Is that
go on?
Is that a bit like that the fly bait that we used to use? Then you used to paint it on
very similar.
tiles.
Very
Bit
similar.
easier though. Spray it rather than mix something with sugar and then paint it on with a paintbrush. It sounds a bit easier.
Here's a thing for you, which I didn't ask because I didn't want to look like a dickhead and people asking cool questions who knew what they're on about and I didn't. If you were to produce like a tile, for want of a better, would you be better off having a checkered sort of or striped black and white pattern on it for that contrast to get them on it, or what would be the most attractive thing?
Depends on the species of fly, because some species of fly, like there've been really good studies done where they've taken horses and cows and cattle in field, and they've painted stripes on them like a zebra, and it's cut down on the number of biting flies that land on that animal. So it all very much depends on the type of animal, depending on what they're going to land on. So some species of animal like landing on tall beads of grass. So things like scutterboards. So a scutterboard is a board with a whole load of slats of wood on it, and you use it for counting filth flies in like sewage treatment plants and in landfill sites. So house flies will land on that more regularly. So yeah, I would say that, if you are going to hang a board up in the air, one side of it, put a whole lot of lines on it. Other side of it, don't. Spray both sides. Let the flies pick.
But you could. But a lot of fly killer sticky boards are yellow, aren't they? So I wonder whether yellow would be a better colour to use because it gives off a little bit of ultraviolet light, maybe as well. One side.
Corex. So you can get some Corex. Yellow Corex, quite nice.
Yeah.
And even better, you can get Corex. You could get some printed with your company name and logo, and fly board don't touch or move, placed by Guardian Pest Control, by Pure Line Pest Control.
Isn't there an alpine wettable soluble granule? Is that gonna follow, or can we not say?
It is following, yeah.
Cool.
So brand new active material coming to the UK market, already in the States, already in Europe, coming to the UK.
And what is it?
Dinotefleron, which is a neonic.
Hang on a second. Say that slowly so I can get my head around it.
Dinotefleron.
Dinotefleron.
Dinosaur.
Just call it Dino. That's what all we're doing at the moment.
Dino, non-stick saucepan. Dinotefleron.
House flies.
Yeah, house flies and stable flies are what's on the label, but the label's prone to expansion. There it is.
Would it be effective on lesser house flies? Or
probably not, because they sit in the middle of the room doing this shit, don't they?
No, yeah, but not if you're hanging something down from the ceiling. They'd be like pitch, maybe.
But time will tell. You guys will also have to let us know if it does, and if it does, then happy days.
Because there was a big thing about lesser houseflies being resistant to permethrin, wasn't there?
Houseflies, lesser houseflies, both of them. The World Health Organization shows, that they are both becoming very, very tolerant, if not totally resistant to permethrin, especially in vector control programs where they're trying to control things like diphtheria.
Do you know what it is? Maybe we need someone to come on and talk practical fly control in this country when you start talking about lessers and because that was one of the things I found quite interesting when they're talking about how often you should be spraying and when you should be spraying and when to stop this resistance from occurring. Because like I just don't know anything about that shit. So you know anyone good looking?
Yeah, we did one. We did one with Sophie Thorogood on flies, didn't we?
I didn't do it.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
we'll
time
get
to
you back
get.
on.
It was used to, wasn't it?
Maybe we could ask Sophie to come back on and talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be good.
Talking the last word on product news before we move on from that. So again, in my little sort of like lovely pack from Scott, he says that so CRD, which is the Chemical Regulations Division, actually put out a memo beginning of the year saying, please let us know how well we're doing with biocides and what we can do better. And lo and behold, a lot of people said a lot of things in relatively sort of like short order. The BPCA and I think the others put consultation, and we got a reply from that. And I'll read you what, so if anyone saw, Rosina did an update on this online a little while back. So you want to watch the video for that, but the highlights.
Who's that? Sorry?
Rosina is the chief executive for BPCA. So the Health and Safety Executive has published a major proposal to reform its post-Brexit chemical regulation, and draft legislation is already moving through Parliament. Several BPCA recommendations have been adopted within this legislation. The headline change is that the HSC intends to recognise the EU biocidal approvals in Great Britain, which means there's less duplication, lower authorisation fees, and a faster access to products that have already been registered in Europe. The estimated cost reductions are dramatic, with substance approvals potentially dropping by up to 97% and product approvals by up to 99%. So for members, this isn't just an abstract policy, it's about keeping products on the market, reducing pressures on manufacturers and encouraging innovation in the future, rather than looking at losses from the toolkit. So there we go. One more reason to look after your trade associations and all of us who put in these recommendations. It means that potentially we are going to see greater innovation, or at the very least a world before post-Brexit when products were more regularly defended in the UK and Europe as opposed to one and or the other. Happy days.
Cool.
Yeah, good, yeah, good. Like our products, don't we? So that's good.
Next,
Buyouts and mergers. I don't actually. Well, I know of one, but I don't think there's much interest to anyone else other than me.
we had
Kelly
Ferrand, didn't we? He's I don't think he's necessarily been bought out, because Night Shift, wasn't it, that he merged with last year, but he's now taken a step back, and Night Shift have control as such now. So
but Night Shift are Tyro, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, they are, yeah. So he has been bought out.
Okay. So yeah. So best of luck to Kelly, previous guest on. Hope he comes back, or whatever he's doing and he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, everyone deserves a little bit of downtime.
So considering that there was talk that Tyro are in trouble, they obviously still buying.
So I think, or the rumours are, that it's not Tyro that's in trouble, it's Virgo. My understanding is that Virgo and Nurture are both laying off, or have laid off, or are looking to lay off their escalations manager. Please don't quote us on this if this isn't true. And if you are one of them firms and I'm getting it wrong, then let us know and I'll correct it, because I genuinely don't know. But my understanding is that Virgo and Nurture are letting go of their escalations manager. Virgo in total, they're talking about 100 members of staff, but that might be a load of shit, so don't quote us on that. And it was all for Virgo, I got told by people who worked for them, it was all to do with an app that they bought for scheduling, which didn't work. and basically they were not turning up when they should have been turning up, and and they lost some work, and then it's went downhill a bit. But everyone, I don't know why, thinks that Virgo is Tyro. They think they are one and the same. But Virgo are to Tyro exactly what Night Shift are, exactly what Pest Tech are, exactly. They are just one of the arms of what they do, is my understanding of it. Anyone with any more to add to that?
I had heard the same about the scheduling thing, because we've been to a few contracts and they just weren't turning up. So who knows? Who knows? What were you going to say, Alex?
I was about to say, it's just one more sort of like tick in the box what you and Sean always say, which is, what's it? The hard work's in the paperwork, not in the, what's the expression you have?
Money's in the hard work. Money's in the paperwork, not in your hard work.
Hard work, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then this goes to prove that point hands down, doesn't it? Which is, you can do the best job in the world, but if you turn up on Wednesday as opposed to Tuesday, they're not going to appreciate the fact that you've done a good job on Wednesday when everyone wanted you on there on a Tuesday.
Not a chance, Jason.
Jason's asking, will we get FICAM back? I like I say, they're mirroring, as they used to do post-Brexit, they're planning on mirroring the mutual recognitions. But with that, there is no FICAM there's no Ben Diacarb out in Europe. So, no, probably not. With that, and the question people are asking if we're going to get a whole grain curly calciferol. I can't speak for the other company that makes curly calciferol, but from my technical understanding of this, whole grains will not work as a curly calciferol for a host of reasons. And feel free to drop me a line afterwards and we can discuss it as to why it won't work.
Can we have a calciferol that works in drains, please? That's what I would like.
Yeah, that's all down to the preservative that's put on it. There's no reason that won't work. It's going to turn to mush. The current formulation of the market, mush. But that won't. It just requires the production of a harder block as opposed to a compressed paste or a pasta.
I think, I'm going to say something. See, I know Hugh doesn't use a lot of it, but I think some people will probably agree with us. I think if we could get a block that was suitable for drains as well as anything else, I think it would remove the need for a Escar block for us, because the only times we tend to use an Escar block now is one, if we've run out of Coley, and we've got it in the van, or we've bought a load of it and it's there, but specifically for drains. So we'll carry that block for drains because we have to. Whereas if we didn't and the Coley did it, would probably be more inclined to carry Coley and just put it in the drains and your roof spaces. Because if it's palatable to a rat in a drain and they'll eat it in your house, because literally a drain is full of food, isn't it? So if they're eating it in the drain that's full of food, then they're going to eat it in your loft where there is no fucking food, and the only thing is a fucking block, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So if we could get a block, that would be impressive. I would like that. Or even put a thing on him. We'll work out some way of putting it in a bag and sealing the bag and letting them eat it. That I don't know, but I want Coley for drains.
So there's this really cool German invention, which is like a little, it's a bait station designed specifically for drains, and it's shaped like a little mushroom pot. So basically it's got this little bell on the top like that, and you put the bait just on the inside rim of the bell.
Like a bell end.
Like a bell end, yes, like a bell end. And the point being is there's two things. And number one, when you open the drain, you can basically pull a little rod and you pull the entire thing up and you can rebait. But number two, when it gets when the drain starts to fill up with water, if there's a storm or an overflow, the whole sort of like bell end will float up with the water lines. Your baits always stay dry, so it takes a lot of the it takes a lot of the pressure off the block having to be very moisture resistant, because it never actually touches the surface. So I don't know, maybe something like that in the future.
So I'm going to deal with this here. There's two things coming from Ratty Boots. I had the opposite recently, where the only place I can get the rats to eat anything is in the drain, contract block. And Jason McFly saying, I always thought that what's the point in baiting the drains? If you have rodent ingress into the house, it's better to fix the problem. This is my thoughts. It's not the only way to do it. Ratty Boots, I absolutely agree with you. I think and I'm going to do this as if I was talking to a customer. So what I say to them is, remember, a rat in a drain has everything it needs to live. It has enough food and water to last it forever. It's an ambient temperature because we run hot taps and dishwashers and baths and all that. Never freeze over, do they? It's dark all year round consistently. There's no predators in it. It's a 4-inch pipe. It's the perfect place. And Davy Brown, who was on here, used to say the only thing that they don't have is somewhere warm and dry to raise their young. So you're right, Ratty Boots. Often the only place where you can get them to pick up food is in the drains, and that's because that's where they are actively eating. As a general rule, they are not coming into your house for food. As a general rule, they're looking for somewhere warm and dry. And we've done drain surveys where we've found a redundant line which has been correctly capped at the top, further down the drain system, and it's stuffed with cavity wall insulation, where the rats have went along, they've grabbed the cavity wall insulation, they've dragged it down, dragged it through the drains and slammed it into that pipeline, and they've used that pipeline to raise their young in there. So that's why I think they eat in the drains rather than the house. And why bother baiting the drains, Jason? Because you've got to kill them before you fix the fault. Because if you don't kill them before you fix the fault, that's when you get horrendous issues. And often the fastest way to get them to pick up bait, and the easiest way to get to pick up bait, and the fastest way to give your customer any sort of respite from the noise and the annoyance is to bait the drains. So that's what we do. But by all, do however you fucking want. I don't care. I'm just telling you what we think.
And I love that disclaimer at the end. Here's some really great advice. Here is my personal observations. Here is, based on years of knowledge and observations.
Yeah.
But hey ho, what do I do? Well, fuck you like.
Yeah. Now using loose grain on insulation and contract block wires to kitchen leg units. We do that contract block wires to kitchen leg units all the time. It's a classic, and do it on the one at the back. The dog can't get to it. You can see what's going on. It's an absolute, it's class. Yeah. Yeah.
There used to be, and I'm just looking, here we go. Hopefully it's still for download. Right. CIH did a range of really great things. I'm going to put it in the comment now. But the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health, the revised guidance for national sewer baiting. Really good document if you want to have a read of that. I say really good document, like really fun read. Really fun read around sewer.
Jason's just raised one last point before we move on. But you don't know how many rats are in the drains. There could be 1 or 100. Absolutely agree. But experience teaches us that what you will find is that you will get an uptake of bait in the drains, and then once that's happened, you'll get 3 or 4. After 3 or 4 days, all noise will stop. We never. What are you? If you, Hugh, we've never had it where we've consistently had them eating bait in the drains, and it hasn't affected the house quickly. We find the total opposite. We find they eat it, the noise stops, and then you can get on and get your problem solved. That's what we find. Thoughts, guys?
We don't use bait on domestic jobs, very rarely.
Do you not?
No.
Puff.
We use traps. We trap them.
I'd agree. From both perspectives, internally, traps, externally. Sewer baiting has been proven time and again to be an effective and a very effective method of population suppression. The only thing you got to make
Question for you though, for both years. If you are using traps inside and bait in the drains, what's the fucking point? Why not just use bait?
We don't bait the drains. We very rarely bait the drains.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would say
Puff.
it depends on the situation. The easiest place to bait, of course, is in a manifold. But if it's a shared manifold, then realistically, you cannot, the same way as you can't interfere with that manifold, because that manifold is the property of the water company as opposed to of the homeowner. then you can't bait down there, can you? Even though that would be the ideal place to put bait.
Yeah, see, this is where I think this is exactly where you're going to go with ratty boots. Bait last resort. If traps don't work, a job goes on too long. I know me and you have discussed this at great lengths. My customers, I believe, would be absolutely furious if I started saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to try and trap them," and then after 9 visits of charging them, not catching them, and I said, "Well, we're going to do poison now," and they go, "Well, why didn't you do that at the start?" And you go, "Well, I didn't want a bad smell in the house, but now we've got to," and da da da. Like, we
are, but we do make them aware they've got the choice.
That's exactly what we do, and every single one of them chooses bait. Every single one.
Mrs. Miggins, would you like us to bait your loft, and there's a chance that rat's going to die in your house and stink?
No, that's bait your loft or bait your sewers. That's the distinction.
Either, because there's still a chance if we bait the sewer, it's going to die in the loft. So we explain it fully and say, or would you like us to start trapping them first? If it then doesn't work after 3 visits, we'll start baiting them. And if they say no, fucking bait the shit out of them. Okay. Don't come back when your loft's full of flies.
That's something I would disagree with Davey on. Like, and I'm sure Davey's, he's done enough of it himself. But we find once you've trapped them in, you almost create a horrendous neophobic thing, and what would be solved in days can often take 3, 4, 5, 6. I've seen them go up to 8 weeks where they just point blank refuse to touch anything and become a fucking royal pain in your arse. Like the other thing as well is they've got a tendency to start popping out in places where you don't want them to, like the kitchen, bedroom, chewing through floorboards. They become destructive, don't they? And they just become a total pain in your backside. That's what we find. So we kill them before. We always kill them. Oh, we want them dead before we start doing repairs, but each to their own. Like I said, don't have to do it my way, do it your way. I don't fucking care.
It's an interesting thing, though. I mean, I've given these sorts of thought. It's the difference between strategy and tactics, isn't it? The strategy being, we're all aligned on the same strategy here, but the tactics to achieve that. I want to use baits, but some want to use baits high and some want to use baits low. I find it fascinating how this industry, where you're given the same products, the same catalogue of products and the same pest and the same situation, and you ask a room of 10 pest controllers how to do that, and you will get 12 different answers. Yeah. And not one of them is necessarily wrong. I mean, that's the point, because they'll all work. Some will work well, and it's really that's why I find this amazing. But there we go. Right. We're technically on buyouts and mergers. I don't think we covered that particularly well. The only one I've heard of is the testing group I2L has been bought by Eurofins. That's about it. Nothing too exciting there. Just Davey says, just because the customer doesn't hear them doesn't mean they're not there. And Tom Garth says, we eradicate and then repair too for the same reason. Neophobic responses when rodents are trapped inside houses can be a nightmare.
Agreed.
I was like, oh, sorry.
I said I always liked you, Tom.
Are we going in other news?
No, did you have another buyout or merger, Al, or was it actually the Pest Tech one? Because you said it only bothered you. Which one was that?
Oh no, yeah, it's the I2L one. So a testing house in the UK has been bought out by another testing house from Europe. Just
boring.
Come on then.
Boring. Yeah, there we go.
In other news,
boring.
Come on, pigeon cull.
Oh no! Before we do the pigeon cull, because this kind of directly relates to the pigeon cull. So where is it? Where are my notes? Firearms licensing, defending legitimate and professional use. So the Home Office is preparing to consult on aligning shotgun licenses more closely with rifles. If implemented, this could increase costs, paperwork, and delays for pest professionals who use shotguns legally for their work. BBC attended a parliamentary debate alongside Basque in gathering evidence ahead of this consultation. It's looking good so far, as no MPs are currently supporting this proposal, but we need to be ready as an industry for the consultation when it goes ahead. So if you want, you can fill out the survey on the BPCA website if this affects you, and it's open to members and non-members. So if you want to say something about the merging of Section 2 with Section 1, go to the BPCA, or I imagine the MPTA might have something similar, and open to non-members and members alike. Just have your say. And I think that kind of leads in nicely to what we're about to talk about now. So
The pigeon cull.
the
Dun,
pigeon
dun, dun, dun,
cull.
dun.
Right. Go on, Hugh. Take it away.
Northern Rail had a pigeon cull, and some dead pigeons and live pigeons were seen wandering around the station, and yeah, there was a lot of furore in the Daily Mail, and various parties were involved. How disgusting it was. Northern Rail told the Daily Mail the pest control activity was carried out at Manchester Victoria Station last year as the pigeons were becoming unmanageable and posing a risk to colleagues and customers. This was undertaken by a licensed and specialist subcontractor following surveys and risk assessments. I shan't read it all out, but a spokesman for the British Transport Police said officers received a report on Friday, February 6, of pigeons that had been culled at Manchester railway station. Inquiries into the circumstances of the cull are ongoing, and there's a great big long list of comments underneath. Manchester Pigeon Rehab Group, that helps protect Manchester's bird species and campaigned against the cull. They said in a statement shared online, "We are happy to announce that the following campaign regarding the confirmation has been provided that the cull has been cancelled."
Yeah, I'd like to step in because I'm looking at the I'm looking at the article by the Daily Mail at the moment, and there's a couple of things straight away that I want to address, which is the use of language within this article, which is intentionally provocative towards, pest managers. So, it doesn't refer to the pest controllers as pest controllers, not once, or the pest managers. It is an extermination squad that has been sent in. That's what they refer to them as. Northern Rail contracted an extermination squad who used air rifles with that. And then footage shared on social media, so not even verified footage, not even sort of like this is why I love tabloids, because there's no verifiable for it, but footage shared on social media showed injured birds struggling around the station, covered, including one bloodied bird that was found trapped upside down on a ledge in critical condition. It is, and then they go on to fully name the the company itself. But I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous.
It's Ecolab, isn't it? We can see it because they've wrote it. It's Ecolab. They've wrote it in the article.
I just I line more strongly with Ecolab than I do with the Daily Mail, to be fair. So
yeah, it's there. I mean, it's print. Yeah, it's printed.
Ecolab. There we go. But
do you think though that in cases like this that we, as an industry, that we do enough to say, look, this is reality. This is what happens. This we are doing this for public health.
I think that people don't see the impacts to public health, and so therefore don't understand the necessity of it. And pigeons are a funny one, because pigeons are here because have I told you the sad story of the pigeon? I mean, let me just tell you for very quickly for 5 minutes, and this is why pigeons are so weirdly loved. So pigeons were brought over in the Victorians. They're rock doves, basically. And they were brought in during the Victorian era, where people loved pigeons. They would sort of like breed them, and the rest of it. And so we get this wild animal that became highly domesticated, and it became entrenched with living with people. And then pigeon fancying, as it was called then, went out of fashion. And it went so out of fashion that all the Victorians did is, instead of culling their pigeons, they just let them go, release them out. But of course, it's a rock dove. It lives on the sides of cliff edges. It's perfectly situated to living in cities and towns. And suddenly we have this highly domesticated animal that has been bred to recognize human beings as part of their sort of like flock, part of the ecosystem, and then we totally fucking abandon them. We just let them go. And you could argue that there's nothing stopping an urban pigeon disappearing back out into the wilds, but it doesn't want to. It's ingrained to live alongside us. So we made this animal what it is, and then we get angry that it does exactly what it was bred to do. And I think this is why people have such an affinity for pigeons, is this particular reason. But they are a pest, and they do these things. They do, you've got psittacosis. They strip the paint off, buses. I've been to plenty of bus depots where the damage that the pigeon guano does to freshly painted buses, or to sort of like freshly cleaned buses and trains and other critical infrastructure, is huge. They can destroy metal gantries by shitting all over them. It's mad, but people don't see that.
The Fluffy Bunny Brigade as well. They're instantly like, yeah, but they saved us during the war because they were carrier pigeons.
No,
they had medals.
Every last one of those.
But the fact is also, we used to have dovecots so that the Victorians could walk outside, grab one, and then take them back in and eat them. So it's a balance, isn't it?
I don't know. There's a comment here, and I don't want to be too negative about it because I don't think it helps massively. But and I know you're going to get on your soapbox, Al, so feel free to shout at us. But I thought John Horsley's fucking release from the BPCA was at best part fucking poor and at worst part fucking shit. I really did think it was terrible.
What was this?
I'll read it to you. And to be fair, when you, like the outreach communications and that, what do you want from your trade association? I want them to stand up for us when I'm in the right. That's what I want them to do. A training officer, John Horsley, a training officer at the British Pest Control Association, said pigeon droppings are a public health risk and in some circumstances a potential slip hazard. Once dry, pigeon droppings can become airborne in small particles and lead to respiratory complaints. The most effective way to deter pigeons from a particular site is to remove food sources. Bins should be kept securely closed, ensure the area is free of litter and debris, and clear up any spills. John added, pigeons, like all wild birds, their nests and eggs are protected under the Wildlife and Countryside Act, which means anyone who disturbs them and who is not operating under an appropriate licence may face prosecution. In certain circumstances, management and control techniques may be required, but anyone concerned about pigeons should always seek advice from a BPCA member who specialises in bird control. And you're like, for me, what he's trying to do is he's trying to walk on that fence of keeping the public happy while sort of half, and I think the public ain't paying your bills. Like, for me, if you are an anti, and I understand exactly what that means, but if you're an anti and you read that, you go, they didn't need to shoot them. They could have shut the bin lids and everything would have been fine. They could have been deterred. And then at the end to say, contact BPCA. Well, it was BPCA. Was Ecolab? It was one of their biggest contributors who done it. Like, why don't they come out and say, we've had a look at this job. It was absolutely justified. We're trying to keep, not these it may be this, it may be that. We've looked at it. We are keeping you safe. Public health is at risk because of this pigeon population. It was done by trained people. It was done by that, and just leave it at that. Like, let's not bow down to them. And it's this old, like, let's sort of namby-pamby around it and fucking look after them. And
I know exactly why they worded that release like that, because people look to these releases. If you had said the only way to control pigeons is by shooting them, then people would have been like, all right, well, I'm going to shoot them. You have to put that back in about, if you're worried about pigeons, don't give them the opportunity to be there, because it's going to be read generally by members of the general public.
Listen. The BPCA's job is not to determine what members of the public to do. They're there to stand up for the members. The members pay them, not the members of the public. And they've just got to turn around and say, these people are trained specialists. They have done this. Everything was risk assessed. All the other factors had been tried and were not suitable. We are keeping you safe. Our members are keeping you safe.
If they were asked the question, this is 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because the argument could have clearly gone the other way, which is if they'd said we stand behind Ecolab, having not been privy to the full,
don't comment, pick up the phone, ring Ecolab, ring up the person who's giving you 40, 50 grand a year, and at that moment in time needs you to back them up. Like, don't give off a half-baked fucking thing on something as important as this if you haven't spoke to them. What's this here? The station in question is Sentinel Victorian Village with a modern roof placed. Oh, right. I've never been, so I don't know. Within this bubble is very roof and ledge. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's exactly why they've been shot in it. Like, I don't know. I just think in terms of like, I'm thinking of me, if I was a member of the BPCA and I'd done that shoot and we'd shot it over 3 months and they'd got pictures of 4 pigeons that we hadn't picked up. And now I'm subject to a police investigation as a result of it. And they're making it sound like they could have shut the bin lids and that would have fucking deterred them and they didn't need to be shot.
That's your interpretation of it. That's your interpretation of it. And again, if it's being picked up by, they're going to court, then you can't comment on the specifics of the case. You've got to talk in generalities. Otherwise, you become a part of that court case yourself. And that's fine if you are asked to be. But if you're given a question of how do you keep pigeons away from an environment, then the answers you give are, sanitation first, contact a trained professional second. And the question probably was, what can you do in this situation?
To be fair to John, I tell you what, I don't know exactly how that conversation went. And I'm well aware of the fact that the press may have picked out what they wanted to pick out in order to push their thing. That wouldn't surprise us in the slightest. But when I read it, I just thought, what's the fucking point? Like, if I was the member and that's what came out, I would be furious. Like, not a little bit furious.
And you wanted the BPCA to speak on your behalf, then sure, they have a whole sort of like, there is a leave of the member benefits. There is a section of that, as there is with all trade associations, where they have the ability to give you legal advice and support or put you in contact with those that do.
You want public support, don't you?
Fair to say this is
you want public support. If you're paying to join somewhere, you want public support. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if you've done it right. And I know some lads who work at Ecolab and they usually have the paperwork in order, and they're not just setting lads out there to go fucking blasting around. They've usually got it pretty well organised and planned. Like, for me, I would just want, and this is me being honest, I would just want more public support for what we had done. But obviously I'm different to a lot of people, so don't again,
the conversation that went between the BPCA and Ecolab might have just turned and said, we have our own legal teams on this.
Exactly. I'm not privy to that, and maybe that's exactly what's happened. I'm speaking out of turn. If I am, let us know and I'll correct it. When I read it, I just thought, what's the fucking point? Like, as an industry, if we're telling people we can shut bin lids, and then followed it up with about they're all protected and all that. Well, it's kind of true, isn't it? Except for there's a general license where literally anyone can shoot them.
You've got to bear in mind that people reading this are people who are going to go and try and do it themselves. So you want to try and put them off that. Don't shoot them yourselves. Don't go and sweep the nest off with a broom. Don't fuck about. Get a professional. And the one thing you can do is tidy up after yourself. That's basically what that's saying.
When I read it, it made it sound like that they hadn't done things right, or there's a potential they hadn't done things right and they should go to a BPCA member. That's how I read it. But obviously my brain works differently than other people, so I'm not saying everyone would read it like that. However, I've dealt with enough aunties over the years to know that's exactly how they would read it, and that's why I look at it in that way. Because they're looking for every crutch to grab a hold of, and it just fucking stresses me out that as an industry we're in this position,
Yeah, but bear in mind that the number of antis out there, the by far and away the biggest readership of that statement is not professional pest controllers, it's not antis, it's just members of the general public who will do dumb shit if they're given half an inch.
Is it Manchester?
I just felt like it was weak leadership. That's how I felt it was. I felt like it was really, really weak leadership, because a leader should have the back of the people underneath them, left, right, and centre, shouldn't he? Even almost if they're in the wrong, and then you pull them to one side and go, that's not fucking on. You pack it in, but you don't throw them. Sorry, Hugh, go on.
I was going to say, is Manchester Victoria Station now part of the Greens new area?
Yeah. Is it? No, Gorton and Denton, that isn't it?
Isn't that somewhere in Manchester?
Yeah, Gorton
So
and Denton.
old Dippy keeps on saying we do things differently in Manchester, doesn't she?
Dippy.
Hey, Dippy.
You.
Dippy and Dave.
Dippy and Dave. Is it true that Zach Polanski changed his name from Dave so that he could feel
his name
more...
was David. Yeah, his Dave was Dave. Not
changed
Zach,
his name.
Dave. Wanted to look more Jewish, sound more Jewish, apparently, I think something.
Fuck me.
Anyway, crew points.
Oh, fuck. Another one.
There we go. Now we're on a roll.
Yeah.
Now we're on a roll. Come on then, crew points.
Not my circus, not my monkeys, is it? Do you know what I mean?
I know this. Okay.
Good news, bad news. It was all bad news until about an hour ago. So good news, bad news.
Yeah. So crew points, guys. The next 3 are being released in June, apparently. June to July.
No, they're out. They're out.
They're out.
I'll put the link on. Yeah, they're out. I'll read you the email that I got just before we came live. And it said,
well, that's good communication, isn't it?
Crew has released 3 new presentations, and there's a link which I'll be able to put in here for you to have a look at. The new topics are permanent baiting, rodenticide resistance, exposure of wildlife to rodenticides. This will mean 6 different presentations being available, as the original 3 will remain. Members can view any 3 presentations to get their 3 Crew UK points, so a mix and match approach is absolutely fine. Thanks, Matt. That was from Matt Davies from Kilgrim.
So I can do my last 3. I did know that, but I was.
Yeah, I'll tell you now. The problem is that because the original system was you done 3 crew points each year, and then once you'd done your 20, including 3, you got your certificate for the next year. Obviously, that changed at the back of last year because I started doing partial fucking years, didn't they? You could do this, and then it was like, well, if you could register your last 3, so people were getting into January, hadn't done them. Do the 3 points for the year before so they can get the ticket. And then all of a sudden it's like, now you can do these 3 points or last year's 3 points. So we're now in a position where you could effectively do your 3 points on December the 31st. And I'm going to take this to the extreme, you know, just to make a point of it. I don't think anyone's going to do this, but you'll understand it. You could do your 3 points in December the 31st and then do exactly the same 3 points on January the 1st. Do the same test, same everything, and claim 6 crew points, couldn't you? Which is, you know, ridiculous in my eyes. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think your 3 crew points should be per the year that you are there to get it for the next year, to make sure. I think I understand the ethos behind it, that someone who starts doing it this year has a bank of six that they can do, but they could still do their 3 and do the other 3, and they could just take part of the 20, couldn't they? You know, like it's a system that is so open to abuse in my eyes from being on this side of it that I struggle to support
it. Think? Alex, what do you think?
I think it's dumb. Sorry, like I've had strong.
you look absolutely like. I thought you'd frozen for a minute.
No, it's because I have nothing else to say about this. I have said from the beginning, and I think I've made this clear, I would have gone about this a very different way, but I wasn't part of the decision-making process. It's not my circus.
Yeah.
I think that I think the whole safe use of rodenticides has been misused and abused by the system. And the sooner we bring in the full new qualifications framework to close this loophole down, the better. I have always maintained that the safe use of rodenticides should be a stepping stone. It should be something that is two versions of it.
But it's not going to close it down, is it?
No, it's like I say, so that there should have been two versions of the safe use. One which was for agricultural users, where your certificate was nominated for a specific site and that site only. Number two,
Yeah.
it should have been for the other version should have been professional pest managers, and it should have been as an abeyance. I've got a new starter. I want to get them on the tools to get experience, and I want
So
to give
it's a
them a
stepping
limited
stone.
exposure and as a stepping stone to my full qualifications. It should
Yeah.
never, ever have been something that could have been manipulated and abused very easily by the system to allow people to become professional pest managers with no effort whatsoever. Because at this moment, you can get your insurance, you can become a professional, you do your safe use once every 5 years, and there is no push to take that any further forwards.
But that's why the new framework will help in a strange way, because you won't be able to say I'm level 2, and
Exactly.
the level 2 safe use won't mean the same as a level 2 pest award in pest management. So there
That's
will
it.
be at least some differential between being able to say I'm a level 2.
Yep.
Well, what's a level 2? A level 2 in what? So at
Exactly.
least that will negate that issue for sure.
Exactly that. And like I say, I have this face because I've said it before. It's just been
There
really badly done.
must have been a way, Sean, though, to have said that, you know, everybody's got to do the 3 fresh points per year,
Yeah.
or not to have done.
Tell you now, from a management point of this, it's just made everything fucking so difficult. So difficult. Because the rules have changed 3, 4, 5 times. So we're constantly having to change what we're doing and go back over and write code because of these knee-jerk sort of things where rules are changing. It's so difficult, and it's taken up time that probably could be used elsewhere to make this, from our point of view, this time could definitely be used elsewhere to make our system better for the user. But as a result, we're having to go back and rewrite stuff. Well, Gaz is rewrite stuff and sort stuff out and change things and work out, you know, and it's like, it's a total nightmare. It's a total nightmare. Because what happened was we had someone who gets to January, did his 3 crew points late, for want of a better word, done them late. But because he'd done them on there and he put the date down as the December, he'd done a load of points. So it come up as him having his certificate available for 2027, not 2026. So I got contacted off Louise saying, how can someone have their certificate for 2027 when the 3 crew points haven't been released? And I was like, let's have a look at it. And I was like, all right, no bother. So then Gaz went back and wrote code to make sure that last year's 3 crew points could only count in 2025. And then a week later, they went, oh, by the way, they're counting 2026. And I was like, and then we've got people saying, well, oh yeah, well, I done them in 2026. I done them 3 crew points in 2026. And you go, yeah, but you used them to get your certificate for in 2025, if that makes sense. And it's just caused the biggest fuck up in the whole world. Like, I don't know why we couldn't just keep to the system and just say, you know, if you want your 2026 certificate, you have to do these points. If you want your 2027 one, you do these, including in your 20, and that's it. But you know, it's just making things difficult. You know, I just hope, and I keep saying this, I hope and pray that this turns into this and we sort of know where we're at. But every time we think we're there, it goes bam, and we're like, oh, fuck's sake. And then get Gaz, who's actually wrote this whole system about 5 days ago, rang us up and he went, Sean, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel thick. I don't know how this system works. What do you mean? He went, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, just talk us through it. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Neither do I. Neither does anyone. Like, we just literally responded as it goes. And he was like, it can't be. And I was like, I'm fucking telling you it is.
I have no connection with Basis, but a couple people have asked, are they going to get a one of them this year from Basis? Apparently, yes. The answer is yes. They have some issue with data collection or something. So you will get one, apparently.
Yeah, and for all of my users, I'm sorry, I've been flat out moving place. But as soon as
Sean,
card printer back, we're going to bang ours out and we'll send them out to you.
And Sean, can you say that phrase that you said to me earlier about people contacting you?
Oh yeah, listen, please listen carefully to this, right? Anyone getting in touch with me, if you send us an email or a text message or whatever, there's every chance I'll not get around to doing it in the near future. Don't do it. Please, please, please do not do that. If you need to get in touch with us, ring me on this number. You will get a response pretty much immediately.
Number. If you put your number in the comments, you're going to get doxxed. Like,
No,
people are
that's fine. I
you
don't
for-
give a shit.
Oh, there
We'll
we
find
go.
it anyways, can't I? Yeah, if you need to speak to us, pick up the phone and ring us. I like a chat with people. Don't feel like you can't pick up the phone and ring us. Listen carefully to this, right? If you send us an email, especially, or a message or what have you, and I don't get back to you, it's your fault, because I'm telling you, the chances are I'm not going to get back to you. If you ring us on the number in the comments, you'll get an immediate response. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's not that I don't want to handle it. And I tell you why it is. Because when I've got my phone in my hand and you're talking to us, I can do nearly everything off the phone. So as you go to us, Sean, I can usually go, yeah. And if it's not for me, I'll send a message to Gary and Gary will get on it straight away. It's the fastest, easiest way. Don't fucking send us a message. I don't want one. I get 6 million every day and it does me nothing.
So, final question before the end of the day. Sean, Hugh, is this whole crew CPD point scheme, as people have so often pointed out, is it a money-making scheme?
Not for us.
No, I don't
Sure.
know.
Listen to me, right? I promise you now, and I've been dead honest with everyone, we literally did this because the piss were off. Like, that's what happened. Like, we just wanted to do it for our pest software users. And I felt like they were so, like, out of order with what we just decided to offer it across the board. That was it. But I'm going to put it into real basic terms for you, because everyone here is a businessman. How many jobs do you do for £35, right? You don't even do one wasp nest. Might get you half a wasp nest.
I know
And that takes you, like, if you think about it logically, if you think how much it takes us to run this and how many hours, like, I promise you now, I'm not going to say it because it sounds like I'm just fucking fobbing you off and blah, blah, blah. I promise you now.
I'll say it.
Yeah. No, it is, isn't
I'll
it?
say
Like,
it for you.
what would your customers get off you for £35? Like, we are doing this to help the industry. I promise you, we're trying to help the industry. And if you don't think that, then use another scheme, because I don't give a shit. That's why I can be so brutal about it, because we don't make any money out of it. So I don't give a shit whether you use it or not.
And again, you get your 3 crew points for free wherever you get them from.
Yeah.
BPCA, MPTA, Killgerm, wherever. You get those for free. It's only your time. Yes, time costs money. You can get all your CPD points for free if you so choose to do so by watching the podcast.
Previous ones available.
Like, share, and follow. So how can it be a money-making scheme if everything can be fucking done for free? Except for your 35 quid, which is less than a a coffee a month.
Yeah.
I wondered, which is less than a coffee. What fucking coffees are you drinking?
A coffee a month. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, that's stuff that the civets shit out.
Oh, the Civic coffee. Yeah,
Kopi Luwak.
had some of that
Kopi
when I was
Luwak?
in Indonesia. It's,
I'm tired.
Was it any good?
not really.
But listen, I'm gonna do some cards as soon as I get the card printer back here. In the
Mate,
process of moving
yeah.
offices, I give you me word. We'll get them done and we'll get them bashed out. Yeah.
Cool.
Jason, it'll only, like Jason says, I'm sitting here drinking a beer and it'll get me 1.5 points. Jason, it'll only get you 1.5 points if you go to your scheme and you tell them that you have learned something today. And if the thing that you've learned is how many beers you can drink during one episode,
I don't want to do it
because you're
anymore.
playing a drinking game, how often does Sean wind Alex up?
Constantly.
Class, isn't it? Class.
Right.
I tell you the one thing I would say is this week we have been on PASMA courses. For those who haven't done it, it's mobile towers. I'm not going to say aluminium because there is steel ones available, but it's nearly always aluminium. But we actually went here and we've done some extra stuff. So we done one that builds normal towers that everyone knows. But then we've done one where you can build it on staircases. So you offset your towers, build them up and put level things in. So that's available. Really useful. We've used that 3 or 4 times as pest controllers already without knowing it. Cantilever, so you can actually build a tower up and then a ledge out over something. And we can also now build them with bridges. So for instance, if you wanted to go over a conservatory or anything like that, over a ledge, or you're doing bird work and you want to work over a door but you don't want to block the door, etc. And it was incredibly interesting. Like,
isn't that what those little clamps are for that you put on a ladder and then just put a scaffold plank across?
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. Yeah, no, we're proper professionals now, aren't we? But interestingly, if anyone wants to see us doing it, me and Clive were used as the video for the instructors. If you want to become an instructor in PASMA, it's me and Clive who are stood there going, oh, this is a really interesting manual. Let's have a read of this. What does this say today? All that shit stuff. So yeah, me and Clive are doing that.
Of me for my sort of like, and now the party can continue. And
I was just going to say that.
Exactly what it is. It stood there. Yeah.
That's it. I'm the odd one out. Got a couple of actors here now.
What you're talking about, like you carry on putting reels up you, sort of like leaning out of your portal.
Oh yeah.
Like, hello.
Hello.
To yourself for the last month.
Well, hello.
Can I just say, this is my level of humour, and I love this. Jason McPherson. I'm sitting here drinking beer, and I'll get 1.5 points. Lol. Tom Gath wrote, "Don't jump in the car. You could end up with 12." Very quick. Very quick.
That is a bit. Yeah. That's a bit quick.
Before we go, Pestex is coming, isn't it? And we'll probably not get there before now. So. I'll be down there,
Alex. Next 2 weeks,
17th and 18th, or the 18th and 19th. There's an 18th in there at least. It is March, 3 weeks from now.
1 to 3 weeks. Yeah, I knew it was quite soon.
Oh yeah. I should know this. I'm giving sort of like several talks there. So 2024, it is the 18th and 19th. Sorry, there we go. There. And if you want to come here, we talk. I'll be there with my day job. I'll also be talking about rat boxes and mouse boxes and thinking outside the box. So a little bit on covered and protected baiting, basically. I'm also on a panel called Pests in Politics, where we're going to talk about the regulations around pest management. And also come and see my colleague, a guy called Jefferson. He's absolutely lovely. He's going to be talking about Seclera fly bait. But he's recently, only sort of like in the last year, come over from South America. So he's an absolute hoot. So come and say hello to him.
Oh, I should have mentioned this in the product news. You know what I saw today? The first time I've actually saw one and really took any notice of it. The original Rent-A-Kill bread bins, where they put the plastic box inside the metal box with the lock on. Yeah, I seen one today. It was still in place on a site.
£140 plus VAT.
Good engineering.
What?
140 plus VAT they were.
Wow.
And I haven't worked for Rentokil for 28 years, so.
Wow. Yeah.
And guess what? I know we've run over, but we didn't mention one thing: the Beetlejuice word.
Shit, yeah. Asian hornet found in Doncaster.
Doncaster.
Yeah. Asian hornet, Doncaster. There was nests in Doncaster last year and the year before, I believe.
I've got the statement here. On Thursday, 26th of February, the Animal and Plant, lot, informed us that they had received a report made through the app of yellow-legged hornet in Doncaster, South Yorkshire. At this time, it has not been possible to ascertain if the insect was captured, but the sighting is considered credible.
Yeah.
So, on the Beetlejuice word, we better leave it.
Yeah.
Say good night.
Good night.
Good night,
See you next
everybody.
week, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Beauties and Beasties podcast.